Welcome everyone to another episode of Kiwi Talks. I have in the studio with me, who I consider one of the best battle rappers of the current age. I'd like to welcome JP80.
What's up, bro?
What's up? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming through, bro.
You're too kind.
Nah, it's all good, man. Got to have the best in here, you know? Put up the league. So, tell me how you got into battle rap, bro, because I'm interested in your story.
Oh man, like where do I start? So I got into battle rap. Man, I watched like, so I'll say 2012. I came across some battles online. Loaded Lux, Calico, Hitman, and John the Don. They were like two battles that like, because I had heard, everyone's heard about battle rap. Everyone's like heard battle rap, but when I saw those on YouTube, years ago, man, it just really blew my mind. Like just the creativity, because I guess I still had like a old kind of idea of what battle rap was, like on beat and like just
the 8 Mile style.
That 8 Mile style, and like, and I remember when I was at school, like, I saw like stuff from like MC Jin, like stuff like that.
Yeah, what's the same?
And like Craig G, Supernet, like all like old stuff.
Yeah,
and it was cool back then. But when I saw this, it was like big stage, that thousands of people. I think it was like 2,500 people.
Did someone introduce you to it, or did you just find
I just
it
found it on YouTube on the recommends. Like,
it
just popped up, and I was like, "What's this?" Started watching it, and I was instantly hooked there. Because I was like, "Oh man!" But you know, when you come into battle rap, like when you first hear like people like rapping in a battle rap format, you don't really know like half of what they're saying. Because
you don't know.
It's like a different language.
You pretend like you do. You're like, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, you pick up here and there, but like it's a different language. It takes like we always talk about like having an ear, like tuning your ear to battle rap. It takes like a good couple months to like kind of tune your ear to listen to what to pick up on and the bars. Like,
so would you play a battle back over and over?
Like when I first got into battle rap, I'll say like the first year or two. Yeah. Like I was still learning to like kind of understand
the craft of it.
The craft and like how people wrote and the bars and like the terminology is really different. I think like when Allenzo was on last time, he talked about like the slang that they use, especially like in America, Canada, just their terminology, the words they use, like just kind of getting a feel and understanding for what the hell they're talking about.
Was there anything in particular that took you a while to grasp in terms of lingo that was used?
I would say just everything, man. A lot of like gun slang, drugs, like a lot of street slang that in America is common, but here, I mean, you know what's crazy? Even like in New Zealand, like hip hop, there's a lot of words that are starting to be like kind of used like just mainstream that I feel kind of originated in a battle rap kind of context and the battle rap culture, like terms like, you know, I bodied that, like, you know, you hear it, starting to hear it on mainstream music now. Where in battle rap, that's like I wouldn't say they made it up, but it's like, you know, common terminology that's becoming like mainstream. But you know, when you back then listening to battles, it's like it's quite hard to. So I think a lot of people that come across battle rap, that's kind of the first barrier that they encounter, is like, it's like a different language. Like they're like, I don't really know what they're talking about, but I kind of do. Why are they reacting? I didn't get it. You play it back, you still don't get it. So like, so when I got into battle rap, I knew PFAK because I'd known him just through various, we'd like perform together on stage. He's a muso. I used to dance back in the day. And I knew he listened to battle rap, and because he'd been following battle rap since he was in high school. So I hit him up, and he kind of like started to not like break down bars, but like kind of help tune my ear to what to listen for. So we started going back and forth online talking about battle rap, and then I showed Salt Don. Well, I know him as Don. Everyone knows him as Salt. I showed him a battle. I think I showed him the battle. I'm just gonna take just take credit for it. Take the credit for it. I showed him this guy Street Hymns. I'm pretty sure I showed him. And that kind of hooked him. And he same with him. Like he was kind of aware of battle rap, and like we were aware of like one outside battles. But never really. We weren't really the demographic that I guess the one outs type of battle style was reaching. But we were hard out, like really drawn into like the overseas, like international kind of battle scene. So I like showed Salt a battle, and then he got hooked. And then I think Allenzo talked about how PFAK kind of got him into battle rap. So that's kind of how we kind of all slowly started to become fans of the culture.
Because you guys have had a huge impact on the scene, just your crew, your little crew, man. Like,
yeah, it's honestly, to be honest, I have to be honest. Like, I can't speak for the other boys, but for me, it feels like it happened by mistake. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, because it started like, so here's how it started. So me and Thawt, we're day one boys. We've known each other since like 2005, 2006. So when we started kind of becoming fans of the culture, because we would always go over, like me and the boys would go over to his house and we'll have like barbecues, have beers and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll start roasting each other, you know. People get a few beers in them and starts getting a bit funny and crazy. So we'll start roasting each other. And then because we were both fans of battle rap culture, we kind of got some of the other boys into it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you know, we'll come to like a barbecue, we'll be drinking, we'll be eating, just chilling, and then we'll start roasting each other.
Yeah.
And then we'll start like rhyming it and like spitting bars, but almost like in an ironic way. Like, this is funny, like not taking the piss, but almost in a like kind of a funny, like a comedic way.
Yeah.
But then like I started getting not serious, but we started like coming with pre-writtens because we were like, oh, we have to one up each other. And then like more people would hear about it, and more of like our friend group.
Yeah.
They'll hear about it and they'll want to come just to like experience the times where we'll start like spitting bars to each other.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. So it kind of happened by mistake. It was kind of funny. And then because I knew PFAK was into battle rap, and I was like, bro, you should come to one. And he knows the boys as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think they knew that he was like a fan of the culture as well. So I invited him. He started coming, and then he, obviously PFAK is the man.
Yeah.
And then he was like, his bars are like next level. So we're like, oh damn, next time we come, we have to all like have like good pre-writtens. And then he brought Allenzo along.
Yeah.
So it started off just being like a chill, like hangout, just a fun thing for us.
Well, that would have been good prep for you guys going into the actual scene, because out the gate, all you guys like killed it. All of you.
Yeah. I think,
because, you know, you get some people that come into the scene and they're a bit shaky, you know, they forget their rhymes and stuff, but you guys like were all dope out the gate.
Yeah, I think like all of us have had like experience on stage in front of crowds.
Yeah.
Just doing various creative things for years. And I think that's a huge, like, one of the first things that is hard to kind of adapt to is just being comfortable in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Because it comes across quite obvious. Like, it's quite obvious when you can tell like someone's uncomfortable in front of like a big crowd.
Totally.
That's usually the first thing that people kind of get nervous about. But
Yeah.
we've grown up kind of on stage in front of crowds, speaking in front of crowds, performing in front of crowds. So I think that wasn't a big advantage for us coming into it. I think the main thing would just be like actually rapping. Because to be honest, I don't really consider myself like a rapper. Like, this was like a fun thing for us.
But then sometimes people can like apply a negative stigma to some people when they say they're a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh yeah, he's one of those.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't say I'm not a rapper for that reason. It's more like we're all still so new, especially like me and Allenzo. We're still like rookies in my eyes when it comes to like the amount of hours it takes to like master something. Like,
well, they say it takes
like
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours or something like that. We're like, we've barely even started, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, and people say, oh, you guys are like, man, you guys are just killing the scene. I'm like, yeah, but like we're still like, there's a lot to learn, you know what I mean?
Well, you can always grow, right?
Always grow, yeah. I think it's good to have that mindset to kind of like keep yourself grounded and like, but yeah, man.
So your debut, man, I have to talk about that. Because
it feels like so long ago now. It's crazy.
Bro, like anyone who's watching this who has not watched JP80's battle with Viv, just go online and watch it. It's hilarious. So what was your mindset going into that battle? Because that was your debut.
Yeah.
You know, it was PFAK and Allenzo had been before.
There was an event before the event I debuted on.
Yeah.
That they debuted on. So we were at the event. It was me and Salt that debuted after.
Yeah. So were you kind of, when you watched them, were you taking notes? At that time, was your battle already in the works in terms of the date, or had it been prepared?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
maybe. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I think like PFAK and Allenzo battled, and like they both like opened eyes with their battles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
totally.
everyone was like, these guys are new, and it's like they've been battle rapping like for years.
Yeah.
So I think like so the name when we put up auditions, like we filmed auditions of ourselves. We started calling ourselves Armageddon, and then I just shortened it to B Team, because every time I was writing it, I was like, man, it's so hard. It just takes ages to write. So I was like, B Team's just a short way to do it.
Yeah.
And that just stuck for some reason. So they were B Team going into it, and then after their audition, their debut battles, I feel like just the B Team kind of like label started like circulating around the culture on the One House page and stuff like that. People were talking about PFAK and Allenzo, and then it kind of like gave me and Salt like confidence to like, okay, yeah, it's our turn now to kind of prove ourselves. And like, so I think from that I called out Viv, which was my debut battle,
and there was a lot of back and forth.
There was a heaps of back and forth,
because you're different to Allenzo on the fact that you troll a little bit. And
I do troll, yeah.
Well,
for me, like,
but is that your way of kind of amping yourself up?
I've always just been like, I'm a cheeky person. Like, I've always liked to like push people's buttons, like, but it's all in good fun. Like, it's never personal. I think like for me, I think Kiwis in general, they struggle to like do conflict well. Like, it becomes very personal very fast.
Yeah.
But for me, like, it's never been like super personal, or like there's never been any like real animosity whenever I've like talked smack or like trolled who I'm battling or something. It's always in good fun. I think it actually is good for the culture. Yeah. Because it creates a competitive energy. So when, you know, it is time for you to battle, people are aware of that tension, and it changes the atmosphere, and it makes the battle like good. Like totally. Even like PFAK and Jibs, like there was a little bit of back and forth with them. Because PFAK was like, yeah, I'm going to do well, and everyone, like, Jibs were like, what are you talking about? You're a new guy. So there was a bit of like, everyone was aware of what was happening around the battle, so that made the battle like...
Well, I think at that time too, like, new dudes couldn't really hang with the veterans.
Nah.
So when PFAK came out, like, out the gate and just smoked Jibs, it was like, holy crap. I mean, you can see the crowd just watching the battle, bro. Like,
such a crazy battle.
Yeah,
man, that's a classic for sure.
So with Viv, what was your writing approach to that battle? Like, did the battle go exactly how you thought it would? Well, obviously with his chokes, I'm sure you didn't anticipate that.
So I wrote like my intro to my first round like a couple days before the battle. I like decided to change it. So the first like 8 bars are a little bit shaky. You can kind of see on my face, I'm like trying to, because my first battle, like, I'm definitely still nervous. Rapping in front of a crowd, like spitting bars. You know, when it's your first, anything you do, the first question you're asking is like, am I going to be good at this? Is the crowd going to be receptive to what I'm saying? So I think writing, like, I put like probably a lot of time into it, because it's anything you do like the first time, I feel like you're always putting like your 100% into it, you know, because you want to be your best, and you don't want to like choke or so. And I think also the pressure of following PFAK and Allenzo's debuts, me and Salt were like, man, we really need to like we need to like kind of keep that standard, meet that standard, or go higher. So yeah, I put a lot of effort into those bars.
So what about, because there's a specific rebuttal that you did, like where you kind of lured him into a trap. Did you have 2 prepared rebuttals for that, or did you just anticipate that he was going to say the fuck you line?
Nah, neither. That was so what happened was that bar I had for that rebuttal, that mid-round rebuttal, was kind of like a bar that I had just thrown away that was going to be in my first round. I forgot. It was like the crack ice.
Crack easily. The crack.
You got to crack. Yeah. Now you are
easily.
thin ice. So you're gonna crack easy. That was a bar I had in my first round that I had discarded. So when I said whatever I said, and he was like, "F you," I just found my mouth going, "Oh, you want to say that?" And then I was like, "Crap, I'm going off the top already. I have to fill this in." So if you notice, actually, when I rebuttal, I don't actually rhyme.
Nah, you don't rhyme.
I rhyme the same word twice.
Yeah.
It's not rhyme. I just say the same word twice because my mind is like, crap. Like, what do I say?
Yeah.
So I can't remember exactly what I said off the top. But so it was off the top. It was a little bit of like off the top, unexpected, but that line that got reaction was a line I wasn't expecting to say it then.
What were you expecting him to do?
Nothing. I just like...
You thought he'd just stand there?
Yeah. Or say something and I was just going to continue with my bars. But I just found myself reacting to what he was saying. And then I was like, damn, I'm too deep now. I have to
finish the bar.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of a mistake. Like,
well, awesome mistake.
Well, it turned out well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like, I've learned from that experience. I try to rebuttal every battle. I think the last battle I had, I didn't rebuttal at all, which I'm pretty gutted about. But the more you do it, the more you become comfortable with taking risk and just trusting yourself.
Well, because there's probably an anticipation factor of what you think they're going to say about you as well. Like, would you write?
Yep.
Preparing something that you think they're going to say, kind of just in the back of your head.
Yeah, I think like that is like a way of writing. Like you're trying to anticipate angles, bars, situations they're going to talk about in their rounds, so you try to like play defense and address it before they do, or have something like up the sleeve just in case they do. But that's always like, you never know, like you're just guessing really.
Did you talk to Viv after the battle, or was it
nah, I haven't talked to him. I think I saw him. He was
even the Dragon Balls could bring that guy back, bro, honestly.
Well, he battled after that. He battled one time after that versus Clue.
And, he did too.
Yeah. And then he also came to the South Pack event.
Was he there?
He was there, yeah.
Just in the crowd?
Yeah.
Cheering you on?
Yeah, just like, he was just there.
He was probably
supporting.
secretly being like, who's this man?
And I said like, what's up with him and stuff, but like, we didn't like really talk or anything.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him since. Yeah.
Sweet. Do you have a favorite battle?
In New Zealand?
Well, yeah, that you've done.
Oh, that I've done one of my battles? I would say Krude. Like, that was... I mean, that's probably like, that's the one that's been most viewed.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I just didn't know how it was going to go, because he hadn't battled in years.
Yeah.
So I had nothing on him. I didn't know how he was going to come. I didn't know like how to write for his level of, because he's pretty much a vet in the game.
Yeah, he's a veteran.
And he's got some like classic battles.
Yeah.
So I had huge respect for him, but because he hadn't battled in a while, it's like, damn, what do I say? How's he gonna come? Like, what's his approach gonna be?
Yeah,
he's gonna have like all this like comeback gas. Like, everyone's gonna be happy for him, for like happy about him returning. Like, so I was like, damn. So that is probably my worst prep for a battle. Like, I didn't finish. I wrote 3 rounds in like 2 weeks.
How do you memorize this stuff? Like, do you have a very good memory? Or do you just repeat the lines over and over and over and over?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both there. I think I've got like an all right memory. Like, I don't know what's a good memory. I don't know. Like, maybe.
Well, like when you're writing it, is it going into your head as you're writing it, or do you have to say it out loud?
Nah, you definitely have to rehearse like what you say over and over. Yeah,
do you rehearse your body language and everything too?
Definitely. Some bars, if I like feel like it's gonna accentuate the punch, or like if I feel like it's gonna add something, then I will. Yeah. I think for me, like, cause like one of the main things that's in the back of your mind is like doing your best not to choke.
Yeah.
And so what I realized real quick after, I think my second battle, because Krude was my third battle, after my second battle, I realized like where you stand, like on the left or right, can really put you off. So like if you're practicing with your body language, say like it's in your head that you're going to be on the right side of the stage, and then you get put on the left side, it actually throws you off a lot.
So do you tell dealer, hey, I want to be on the right side of the stage?
Nah, you just kind of
you just end up being...
You just have to be ready for that. So I think like against Clue, I practiced everything the other way. Like my body language, in my mind, it was like he was going to be there and I was going to be on the right. But when we battled, it was the other way around. And it actually throws you like, you wouldn't think it'll throw you off, but it actually throws you off quite a bit.
I suppose if you've prepped and you have a certain
idea of how the battle's going to go, and then it's not like that, it actually throws you off. So there's a couple times that battle where I almost choked because I was like just disorientated because you've rehearsed it in your mind a certain way.
I think you'd have to pay super close attention to notice with your body language though, because you come across like really confident in all of your battles.
Yeah, again, I think that's just from being comfortable on stage and stuff like that. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more you become aware of like how you want to be perceived on stage. Using the stage, like how far back you are to how far. I know a lot of battle rappers, I see them stand way back on the stage, but I think like for me, I always try to be like right at the front of the stage, close to the crowd as possible, because it just does something to your presence.
So when you're practicing, are you projecting your voice while you're practicing as well?
I'll say like the last week, maybe last couple of days. I think like my battle versus Dev, my last battle, I didn't really project my voice until we ran it through with like the other B team boys. So like the night before, or like a couple of days before, we spit what we had.
Oh, so you guys get all in a circle?
Yeah, so sometimes we'll get together and we'll just freestyle and we'll just like roast each other. Like we try to keep that tradition going. Like, we call it barbecue now, like because it used to be barbecue, but now we just call it barbecue. Like for fun.
Because Allenzo did say that you guys kind of battled each other.
Yeah, so it's
a good prep.
So that's kind of like our tradition. Like when we get together, we'll just go off top and just try freestyle, have a topic, and then like. It's a lot of it is funny, like. So
if you guys were to like battle each other, you'd all have heaps of ammo on each other, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. I would never battle Salt, like, because that's my day one, and like we know way too much about each other. Like we would never battle each other. Like, he wouldn't want me to battle him, and I wouldn't want him to battle me.
Is he gonna come back? Are you trying to get him to come back?
Yeah, we're trying to get him. I don't know. I don't want to put him in trouble. I think he's considering it. He's considering it. Yeah. Maybe if he gets enough push from us, like maybe the next event.
Maybe D-Line needs to hound him.
Yeah, maybe. But I think he will.
Yeah,
I think he will.
Do you ever write something and you're like worried that it's gonna pop off? Like, have you
always? Oh man, that's like one of the biggest things. Like,
because you say some complex stuff sometimes.
One, like I think like most battle rappers, like seasoned battle rappers, will agree that like. You can never really anticipate what's going to get reaction. So like I'll write some things thinking that this is the craziest thing I've ever wrote. Like this is going to be crazy. Everyone's going to go crazy. And then you say it and it's just crickets and you're like, damn.
So when was the first time this happened for you? Was it in the first battle?
I don't have like a specific line, but there's been times I would say in almost every battle I've had where I'm like, I feel like this is going to get a good reaction, and it doesn't. But then something vice versa, you'll get reaction for something that you don't expect would get reaction. Like a real big reaction. You'll be like,
do you get disoriented from both?
Or whenever that happens is the most dangerous time you can choke. Like when you get reaction for stuff you're not expecting to get reaction for.
Yeah.
It can throw off your whole. I feel like that's one of the main reasons why people choke, is because people cut them off halfway in the line. They just react to something and it's unexpected from the battler, and it's like, oh damn, they have to run it back, and then
because that's what a lot of the battle rappers do, right? Like if they're thrown off a little bit, then they go back and repeat the bar slightly to lead into the next part.
But if you're like not expecting it, you've forgotten where you've started. Like if you're like in a 4-bar type of thing and you get reaction, you're like, I wasn't expecting that. Where did I start again? That's happened to me a couple of times. I've almost choked against Dev. I was like really close.
I didn't see it.
I just got a reaction, and I was like,
it.
well, because you try to like that. I think that's like that's the advantage of like being confident when you're on stage is whenever you get put in those situations, you don't try to project it and you try to make it as less noticeable as possible. But there's definitely like a time where I was like, damn, what did I like? Where did I start? Like I forgot where I was. And then it just came to me. I think it happens often. Like to a lot of battlers, I'd say that.
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
There's heaps of times.
Because I've wondered that too. I'm like try to put myself in your guys' position, and I'm like, that would probably throw me off.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why you got to be prepped, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for Viv, I don't think there was a time where like I was close to choking, but every other battle,
even if you did, I don't think anyone would have cared at that point.
I feel like the more you battle, the more.
Did you feel sorry for him?
No.
Good man. That's a trick question.
Why? This is the competition. I'm competitive, man. Like that's just my nature. Like,
but that's good though. Yeah.
I grew up like playing sport like first 19 years of my life, so it's just drilled into me to like. I hate losing more than I like winning. Like, I have to just be competitive. It just makes it fun. Like, why are we doing this if it's not competitive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get a drive from it, right?
Yeah, it is like a drive thing, and I think that's part of the reason why I like to like talk competitively as well.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
I like putting something on the line. Like
Well, the reward is that much greater, right?
Yeah, I like if there's like something worth losing, I love those situations.
Yeah. So Traser's coming up in March. Are you fully prepped?
I haven't started writing yet.
You haven't started writing?
Nah, it's really? Time, man. Nah, I found there's a couple times like I think like I don't know, I think versus Ted. Oh, I can't remember. Versus Ted, which was the battle before Dev. Yeah, I was like prepared way out, and it kind of hurts you because you're not as enthusiastic about your material because it just becomes stale and old, and you get bored of it. So I found like if I write too early, I'm more at risk of changing stuff way closer to the date because I just get over it, and I'm like a week out, I'm over this, I'm gonna change it, and then it's like, damn, you're putting yourself in a position where you might choke. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but it depends if you do well under pressure, which it sounds like you do.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like this, I could choke the next, but you know, like no one's like no one's safe. No one's safe.
Even veterans, you know, in America and stuff, they choke. But
yeah, it's everyone's. Yeah, but I think so. For me, like there's a certain time period where I like to be ready. But the more you battle, the more complacent you get, and you're like, I'll be sweet, I'll be all good. Like even like Dev, I finished like the third like a couple like night before. Like
Traser said that when he was on here that you told him that you wrote it the night before.
I didn't write the whole thing the night before, but I had it on lock like only the night before. Yeah, for sure.
He thought you were lying.
Nah, that was true. Like I wasn't too confident in that, especially like that round. It was so new. So
in terms of how you write, what do you prefer? Like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out? Like
it depends what I'm battling.
Yeah, because Traser, he says he kind of writes for a month and then memorizes it the next month.
I think that's a good kind of structure to have. For me, it depends what I'm battling. It depends like how life is. Like that affects.
Yeah, of course.
Like your creative ability.
Yeah.
Like for me, I feel like a lot of times I'm at the mercy of like my creativity, like comes in waves.
Do you get writer's block?
I don't know if it's writer's block, but I wouldn't call it writer's block. I just my creativity comes in waves. So like I'll just get in a state or a flow for a couple days, and I'm just writing, and I'm used to like, don't talk to me, don't ask me to go out, don't ask me to socialize, like because my mind is just like in a state where for some reason I'm just writing a lot. Yeah. And it's working. You know what I mean? And that's stuff that I kind of like, you know, because a lot of it is like you hate what you write, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes where I could care less like about writing anything. I'm just not feeling it, not motivated, not inspired, don't feel creative.
What inspires you to write?
I think, but honestly, like the other boys, like the B team boys.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Whenever because we have like our own group chat on Facebook.
Oh nice.
So whenever someone will put up like a 4-bar, like 8-bar thing, they'll video themselves, and it'll be like fire, and it'll inspire you to like, oh man, I need to get back on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're all trying to like keep each other accountable with the standard we've made. We're always trying to
you've set a pretty high standard
and improve. Yeah. And I think like I think that's healthy. I think that's like part of the function of our team is because you know a lot of people think we write together, but actually,
there was a rumor I heard.
Yeah,
you guys were exchanging bars.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a team, like of course you're gonna think that. But what we actually do is we write and then we share it, and then we let each other know if it's trash or if it's dope. Or if it's been said before. A lot of it is that's been said before, don't say that. Which is mean because we've been in like events where people have said stuff, and I'm like, someone has said that before. Yeah. If you had people around you to tell you someone has said that before, that might have helped you.
Yeah.
So I think that helped. That's an advantage we have is like, but yeah, we just push each other to be better. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah.
So besides from battle rap, because apparently you're good at heaps of things like dancing, basketball. What else?
I played ball like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't think I'm like necessarily like, I'm not being like fake humble. I'm just a quick learner. Like, I just like to learn. So
So you pick up something and you learn it pretty quick.
Yeah, if I'm interested in something, I'll learn it quick. I wouldn't say I'm like necessarily like super talented at something. Like some people are just gifted. Like, you know, when I play sport, like, you know, real quick who are like born to do it.
Yeah,
and I wasn't one of those. I had to train my ass off, like, you know, 2 times a day just to keep up with like these freaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna make a career out of this. Like, I was just not genetically like gifted like that. Some people are just gifted at things. I think my gift is I just learn quick. Like, I know how to learn quick and not give up at something if I suck. I'm comfortable when I feel like I suck at something, because I know, you know, there's room to improve and get better.
You never doubt yourself in anything, though?
Of course, yeah. No. I think everyone doubts.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Damn, you're the man.
Yeah, no. Everyone doubts themselves, and but I think also that's what's cool about having like a group around you to like encourage you.
Totes.
Like, you might think that's bad or that's trash, but nah, you're talented. You can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you do a bit of dancing with Izzy back in the day?
Israel Adesanya. Yeah. He used to crump back in the day.
Yeah, because you did crumping.
Yeah. We used to like just freestyle battle. I was his last battle, to my knowledge.
Oh, real?
Oh yeah, so that was my first battle in Auckland. This was like 2011, I think, and I was his last battle. Yeah, so we knew each other through that.
So had he already talked to you at that stage about getting into MMA and all that?
I was aware of it. Like, we didn't talk about it, but I was aware he was doing MMA at that point, doing kickboxing. Again, he's what's cool about Izzy, man, is like he's as much as I've known him, I don't know him like super well, but like we'll see each other and we'll chop it up and stuff like that. But he's never changed. He's always been the same dude, man.
That's
like,
good.
He's like a real genuine, like, and he always shows love. Like, he goes to like some of the dance events still. Like, he'll just show up by himself. Doesn't need to be there. This world class, world famous athlete, and he'll just pop up at an event and just support. That's crazy. Cool, yeah, he's real down to earth. Like, he's really connected to his roots, I feel.
Yeah.
So I respect Izzy, man. He's dope. He deserves to be champ. Like, he's
a great champion. I kind of feel the New Zealand media haven't really embraced him that much or done that much media exposure on him. Well, not to the extent that, say, maybe the All Blacks get, you know?
I think
you know what I mean? And there's still a lot of people that don't know what MMA is, or in New Zealand at least, anyway. I mean, obviously it's a big thing in America.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I talk about him to some people and they're like, who?
Who? Yeah.
I'm like,
I think that's just the rugby effect, man. Like, that's the culture we live in. Rugby is king. Rugby is God. Yeah. Like, and everything else kind of is underneath that. So
do you still see him around now? Driving around his McLaren?
I think the last time I saw him was at an event, a dance event.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I saw him at the movies once. I think me and my sister saw him at the movies.
Does he know that you battle rap?
Yeah. He was meant to come to one. Oh, I invited him to one, but I think he was in China at that point. He was doing kickboxing over there. But I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So he has seen you battle?
I don't know if you've seen me battle. No, I don't know. So
who's the better crumper, you or him?
I don't know. Probably
it's a safe answer, bro.
Him. I'll say him.
So you never would want to do MMA or anything?
MMA? I don't know, I mean, that's a lifestyle, Like anything.
Bro, I got mad respect for people who do that, man, honestly. I had Carlos Hicks on here, and he does MMA. Like,
okay.
Yeah. He's training to hopefully be in the UFC at some point. He trains with Izzy and Dan and Eugene and stuff. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But he's based out of Hamilton.
It's a lifestyle, man. I don't know. I'm 28. Like, I think it's too late to start at like something like that. It's one of those things where you have to be doing it for some years.
And as you get older, right, your body doesn't bounce back like it used to.
It's
like even for
time
me.
is ticking. Like with that stuff. Just it's a sport in general. Like you're at the mercy of time. Like, you just keep getting older.
Yeah. Do you go to the gym much? Or you just naturally built?
I try to. Right. Yeah, I'm like inconsistent.
It's all natural way, bro.
I'm inconsistent. Yeah, like
natural guns.
When I stopped like dancing, bro, I put on like 20 kgs when I had a kid and stuff. Like,
Well, yeah, I suppose that's believable.
I think we all have, like, all the
because
boys.
like dancing, you know, it actually like require, but depending on what the type of dancing is, like you burn a lot of calories doing it, man. All different exercises and stuff. I did I did breakdancing classes for a while.
Oh, yo, me.
Yeah. I was like the only white dude. All the rest were like Koreans.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, I quickly realized, man, like my flexibility ain't that great, man.
It's a different fitness, bro.
Yeah.
Different, just like anything, man. It's different fitness.
So is it just Krumping you do? Or
so me and Dom, we danced in the crew. Like he started it years and years ago. Him and Lenzo have been dancing for years. I only started in like 2010.
Yeah,
they'd been doing it for years before that. Went to Vegas and
Did you do any of the international stuff like that?
In Australia we did a couple comps. So I can't remember. But in Australia,
what's the hardest thing about dancing in a crew? Is it just the you guys all being in sequence?
I don't know, man. It's been so long. Actually, I haven't danced in like 4 years.
Yeah. If one else had like a battle, but then like Crump, like before that, you know,
dancing is way harder, bro.
Yep.
Like, that's no disrespect to like battle rappers, but just anything that is that like physically demanding.
Well, it's intense.
It's hard, bro. Yeah. It's just I mean, it's like MMA as well. Like it's just when anything physical that combined with like creativity is like doubly as hard, because you have to be fit, but also you have to be creatively inspired and switched on as well.
Totally.
But yeah, man, I got huge respect for dancers. It's not appreciated as much as it should be. Yeah, because it's flipping hard, bro.
Bro, well, I know just from trying to do breaking, I was like, oh, how with this? It's pretty hard. Yeah. Particularly if you don't have very good flexibility. Like, I think with breakdancing in particular, like, if you're a bit stiff
flexibility,
and stuff.
Flexibility, core strength, like.
Yeah. So is there anything that, in terms of that, anything creatively that you haven't done that you'd be keen to do? If the opportunity arose? Or do you think that you've done everything that you've set out to do? Like, did you get an idea and just like, I want to do this, and then you just go do it?
Man, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm not really like a super like goal orientated person. Like, I don't.
Are you spontaneous?
I'm a little bit spontaneous, and I like things to happen organically. Yeah. But I feel like that's part of the reason why we've been so successful, like in relative success in New Zealand and battle rap, is that it's all happened organically. It's not forced. Like, we're not trying too hard. And I think that for me personally, anyway, that actually is an advantage for me, because I found like whenever I've invested too much time and energy into a creative a creative outlet, it actually affects my creativity. I don't know if that makes sense. So like
so you mean the quality of your creativity goes down?
I feel like so like, for example, like when I was dancing, that I put everything, like all my eggs in that basket. I put heaps of time and energy into it to a point where it wasn't fun anymore. Like, and it became a chore and a drag, and this is just me personally, but uninspired, unmotivated, because I think when you it's kind of hard to explain when you kind of put so much effort into something, just in terms of like creativity. I feel like it affects, because I was told like years ago, this wise person told me that anything creative, you should always have like another outlet that's not creative, that isn't like your life isn't dependent on. So like go to uni, have a career, and do that creative thing on the side, so there's no pressure that thing has to sustain your life and your well-being. Like, don't put all your eggs in that basket. So ever since I heard that, I was like, man, that's so true, because I'm way more creative, and like I feel way less pressure when I don't have like 100% vested interest into that creative endeavor. If it's just something I do, and however it happens, however it works out, cool. There's no like pressure, but I have this thing that I'm doing. It actually fuels creativity for me. That's just me personally, though. Yeah.
So does it help somewhat with battle rap, I guess, because you're only doing a couple of battles a year?
Yeah.
Did you do just one last year?
Last year, just did one.
Yeah,
PFAK didn't battle at all last year.
Yeah.
Allenzo battled the most.
But I know D-Lar's been trying to organise events, but they fall through for whatever reason. But this is a pretty big card. I mean, obviously, if King of the Dot or URL came to you, you'd be keen, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry.
Whether you'd be keen. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
no,
for
definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
I definitely will be keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you talked to PFAK much about his battle with Chiller, like if he's prepared and stuff?
Not so much. I mean, it's still early for us.
Yeah. Of course it is. It's still what? 2 months away.
2 months away. I don't think I think maybe Lenzo's started writing, but I don't think any of us have really locked in yet. We're just kind of just write something here and there.
I'm so interested to see how Allenzo writes with battling Raw, with battling a female. I'm just interested to see how he approaches it.
That's Allenzo, man. He likes to challenge himself in that way. Me personally, I wouldn't take that battle because I wouldn't know what. I mean, because I'm cool with Raw too. She's from out west. I know her boyfriend real well.
Yeah.
He crumps.
Nice.
Dances back in the day.
Yeah.
But even just any girl in general, I wouldn't know. But big respect to guys that battle girls because I think that they're at a disadvantage because everyone wants a girl to win. You know what I mean? It's like
totally
an underdog type of, not that underdog, but it's like a. It's just I mean, it's just such an unexpected, what she gonna say? The dynamic is weird when it's a male and female.
What's cool about you guys is because you're a Christian crew as well. It kind of subverts the expectations of what people think of battle rap. You know, when they think of battle rap and they think of a battle rap scene. I'm not sure if you've seen the movie Bodied.
No, I still haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but like real graphic, like real intense, like real insulting. But like you guys, because I think people would think, Christian, how would they be able to stack up against, dudes that don't? Because some people would view it as a disadvantage, but I actually think it's an advantage to you guys because it forces you guys to be more creative. Like Traser said when he was on here that, like cuss words, and those sort of things are just filler.
Right.
Like can almost be like a crutch. Because they can rely on that stuff. But because you guys don't use any of that language, it forces you to actually think more creatively.
I don't think we do it on purpose, because we all.
Well, no, because you wouldn't do it on purpose. Because it would be a subconscious thing, I'm sure. From.
But we all swear though,
Well, you said it.
I think for me, I think we all hold our faith all quite differently. For me.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, PFAK's a pastor, isn't he?
I think, he does youth. He leads, youth. And he's real good at it, man. Youth love him. Shout out to PFAK for that. And Lenzo as well. He does, similar things. For me, I've never liked the Christian stigma. I've never, for me, this is just me personally. I can't speak for the other boys. But if you were to ask, are you a Christian? I don't know what you're asking. Most of the time I'll say no because I don't know, because that's such a loaded word now. Well, and I'm so careful to distance myself from the negative connotations that word carries, especially now in this politicized climate, Americanized climate we live in. Trump, religious right, Republicans, Christian label is attached to that, and I don't want anything to do with that. So when people ask that, are you a Christian? I'm
I used to be real religious and a Christian and stuff. So I kind of get what you mean. And the what is it? What they think a Christian isn't necessarily what is right. And particularly, so let's say for example, media, right? Yeah. You'll see a Catholic church. Right. You'll see a priest. Yeah. The traditional old school way. Catholicism is what is the perception of what Christianity is. And I went to a mainstream Pentecostal churches, where you have a massive band and the pastor you know, it looks like he's taken 10 Red Bulls before he got on stage, right, you know, because he's so energetic and stuff. But people don't, they have a different mindset of what they think Christianity is.
I mean, it's such a blanket term. Like, it's such
it is. And there's a lot of divisions with in terms of the different,
and they all
like Anglican, and Catholicism, Pentecostal, you know, there's so many.
And they disagree with each other about a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, damn, what do you mean by Christian? So like, for me, I think Jesus is dope. I love everything he was about.
Yep.
Everything that he stands for, everything that he taught, how he lived his life, how he treated people, how he treated the least of these, like the lowest person. I'm all for that. I feel like the kind of Christian religion per se, I don't think Jesus came to start a religion. I don't think he came to start Christianity as the religion. I think it's a way of life. I think it's a lifestyle. It's how we treat each other. So when people say like, what do you believe? I'm like, well...
Do you get people that try and set you up though and put you in a trap?
I've never had like...
You know, like, oh, do you believe this?
I mean...
So you believe everyone's going to hell?
Have you been on Facebook? That's pretty much like what Facebook is all about. It's all about trying to one up each other with arguments. And I'm guilty of that. I think we've all kind of like found ourselves in those kind of like religious discourse.
But like you say, like say when it's a Christian, let's take Israel Folau, for example, right? Like who's
right.
Yeah, who's had a lot of media attention.
Yes, he has.
And then like obviously as a Christian yourself, like you who doesn't necessarily agree or look at things the same way he does.
Yeah.
Would you get like non-Christians coming up to you and being like, oh,
I had like when
what do you think of this?
Yeah, like obviously that situation. I had a few people like PM me like what, like not asking like do you support this, but what, like, you know, what is this all about? Is this what Christianity is about?
It's like nah.
And it's, you know, there's a lot of opinion attached to it. For me, like not just that like situation, but like I feel like often when we say, you know, I believe this or I believe that, like I don't know how much weight it holds, because I've found that like our beliefs are usually, when we like talk about our beliefs, they're usually like a reaction or a cover to protect us from what we truly believe. So when you say,
what do you mean exactly?
So like when I say to you like, okay, do you believe in like supporting child labor? You'd be like, no, of course not. But really, like how many pairs of Nike shoes do we have?
Yeah.
It's true. Like, and you can't say, and that's not you, just that's me as well. Like you can't say like, oh, I didn't know about that. Like everyone knows about, you know, how like ethical like fashion is or is not. It's like, so I feel like we like to tell ourselves these stories. Like we don't, like I believe in God and rah, rah, rah. But I'm like, well, how much weight does that actually hold? Because we're always trying to present a certain version of ourselves to the world, right? We're all guilty of that. Like, if you were to ask me, are you a Christian? I'll be like, well, firstly, I don't know what you mean by that. Secondly, ask my parents, ask my wife, ask my kids, ask my friends. Like, they'll tell you if I am or not. My word, I'll say yeah, but that's what I want you to hear. I want you to see me like that. I want to present myself a certain way to you.
So you're more actions than words.
Yeah, I feel like whenever we say we're for something, or I mean that's just my opinion though. Like I found people, they support this or that. I believe they believe this or that, but really, like their actions, whether they're conscious of it or not, kind of suggest otherwise. And I feel like that's all of us to an extent. So I feel like it's like for the Israel Folau thing, like I feel like he's just in a community where what he believes, that's what everyone else believes, and he's just in that kind of water.
Yeah, well that's the environment we live in these days, right? Like if you think of social media, like it's real easy to find a group or any type of community that believes what you believe, so that automatically can help you justify what you believe in.
And I think that's the problem though, is that like we create communities around what we believe instead of like a common cause. So like I want to be a part of a community where like I want to be a part of a community where like we could believe two different things, but that's not what unifies us. What unifies us is what we want to do. Yeah. Like our cause, how we want to make the world better. You might believe.
Yeah.
You might be pro LGBT or like anti-gay, like aka Israel Folau, Israel Folau, but like we can mutually disagree, but still work at like doing something to make the world a better place, despite what we believe or not.
I think that's what we should do.
That's what we should do.
But
does it happen?
No,
because
also as well as some people, you know, if someone doesn't agree with their ideology, then they can feel attacked. You know, you disagree with me.
Yeah.
You know, or if someone's even questioning like something.
Yeah.
They can be like, well, you're attacking my ideology, and they associate their ideology with their identity, and therefore they feel like you're attacking them. That's why you get into all these stupid debates and like, you know, all this hate on social media.
Definitely.
I think. And there's no body language or anything either.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Yeah, so you're just reading text.
I think like whenever like people react to, you know, their ideology being challenged, it's an indication that they actually have been secretly struggling with that part of the ideology all along. So it's like, I say, well, have you thought about this? And then, they get all up in arms about it. I think that's an indication that they might actually be considering that their ideology, there is a problem with it, or there is something that they haven't, and they just don't want to admit that, or they're forced to confront that.
I think it's a natural human trait, though, and I think we all do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like if you get two people to have a debate over their views, and neither one of them are willing to even be open to the other side possibly being right, then it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and often that's what happens, isn't it? We like to sacrifice like compromise and like finding mutual agreement on like being right, like on the altar of being right. We'd rather be right than consider or discuss like certain things. We just like to puff ourselves up, and I think that's just a human thing there.
Are you aware of it though? Are you able to check yourself when you feel you're doing it?
I think so. I think sometimes that's why it's good to have friends, like to kind of
call
like,
you out.
What are you up to?
Yeah. The PFAK and Allenzo be like, and even Salt be like, hey man.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They are. We're all pretty honest with each other. But yeah, man. How do we get into talking about this? I can't remember.
I think it's segue from like the whole Christian Krude.
Oh right,
and battle rap.
Yeah. Like because I've never said I'm a Christian. Like in any of my like battles or anything. It's just like,
well, here's the thing that made me, because I was like, okay, first of all, you're in B team.
And
obviously predominantly are Christians. And I think the other thing I noticed was you never use any profanity except for that one line against Viv, but that was just repeating what he was saying. Yeah.
I think it's such a like, this is not you, but like it's like such a pathetic like, you don't swear. It's like
it's not a bad thing. Like I salute you for it.
Nah,
I write rhymes too, bro. So like I salute you for it. I think it's cool.
Nah, I'm saying like it's not like.
But I know there would be some people who would be like, it's just trash.
It's such a small. It's such like like. The world's so much more interesting and bigger than like, do you swear or not? Do you use these certain words? Like, the swear words even exist? Like, they're just words that offend each other.
Yeah, I often wonder that. Like, where did swear words come from? What are they? Like,
it's such a like nothing conversation. Like, we swear all the time. Like, I'm not proud of it. Like, you know, we all have like get road rage now and then, or we all like that's just being honest. Like we say fucking shit like all the time. It's just like,
well, it's interesting because some people I have on the show,
they're
very cautious of what they say. I can see it like as I'm talking to them because they're conscious of the cameras and the mics and everything.
Yeah, man.
Can I say this word? Am I allowed? Like with Traser, like I think one of the podcasts I did with Traser was one of the best because he just didn't care. He just
because he is who he is. He doesn't need to like pretend. And the more like, you know, if you're connected to a community or like a group or like a team or whatever, a group of people that has a certain expectation put over you and its intention with who you actually are, that stuff comes through. Like people can sniff that out. Like if you're trying to be someone you're not, it's like, come on, man, just be yourself. Like, so I don't try to be like super like Christian. I hold my faith differently than the other boys. I don't rap about it because it's a serious thing for me. Like it's not like it's not a, I feel like someone that's always like in their, especially in their raps or on their creativity, like, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, or I believe in this and that. It's like, well, how are you actually trying to convince yourself that you are? Because you'll say it so much. It's like, who are you trying to convince, them or yourself? Like,
is it evangelical though? Maybe that's why they're trying to do it.
Maybe that's just me though. Like, I think there's.
I mean, I'm trying to think back to like my mindset.
But who are you trying to? I think for me, it's just
I think it's like society pressures. You know, sometimes you're not even aware that you've been affected by that. Like everybody kind of covets or wants affirmation or to be accepted by their peers, right?
Yeah, I think nobody, that's a lot. Yeah,
nobody wants to be hated. So I think in some cases people are trying to do stuff to make them
they be a certain way so they can belong into like a certain
well, you want to feel like you belong somewhere, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to just be that lone dude that has nobody by your side. So
that's a good point.
That's probably where it originates from. But whether people get lost in that, and you know, in the age of social media, I mean, I call social media, particularly Instagram, like one massive dick measuring contest because everyone's it's all about the likes and stuff.
Yeah,
she's laughing.
I was thinking about this the other day, like, man, I think like, because you know, often the common like perspective is, you know, Instagram, we like put up our fake, like that virtual reality, it's like a fake version of ourselves. But like, I'm like, nah, maybe it's actually a real version of ourselves. Because like, have you, like, for instance, like, extreme example, have you ever, like, did you ever play Call of Duty?
Yeah, bro.
Like, if you've been in those lobbies, like with those kids,
bro, they're brutal, bro.
It is, say some of the most filthy things. Like, battle rap has nothing on like those Call of Duty lobbies. Like, man, they say anything and everything,
and they're just little kids,
racial, and they're little kids.
I'm like, yo, man, I didn't even know that word when I was your age.
And I think like that virtual kind of space actually gives us space to actually be out. Like, I feel like that's who people really are.
But they wouldn't say that to your face.
They would never say that to your face.
Because there's consequences.
Yeah,
there's repercussions.
The reality we live in, like, there's social pressures, there's certain etiquette, but that's all represses, I think, who we really are. So like, I feel like Instagram is like a version of, it might not be on the surface who they really are, but what I see is this is who I want to be, because I'm not that. So whenever someone's always posting like pictures of their relationship, like, look at me and my boyfriend, or me and my girlfriend, like every single hour of the day, it's like, oh, maybe their relationship was really bad because they're trying to convince themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? And that's the reality that comes through on that.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like a fake, but really it's the real as well, like that comes through on like that virtual space. Yeah.
Because people, like, you know, they post their highlights mostly on those platforms.
Yeah, and it's like, this is what I want you to perceive my life to be.
Yeah. But
because it's not.
Yeah. But some people, you know, they look at this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they compare it to their own lives.
Yeah,
which is a dangerous thing, because I got friends who do this and go, oh, look at this person, they've done this. I'm like, hey, you don't know anything, man.
Yeah, you don't know.
They could be broke. They could, like, their relationship could be destroyed. They could have nothing. This could be all fake, man.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Like,
definitely. I'm not like super massive on like social media, especially
yeah. Well, yeah, I've noticed that. Like, I don't like
you
post like the odd thing here and there. Like, to be honest, if it wasn't for this, like this creative outlet and stuff, I wouldn't even be on there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I just find it so negative. I'm just like, or I might just stay on LinkedIn or something, because LinkedIn's a bit different to you know, like Twitter. And
I think it's an age thing too. Like, I'm 28. Like, you get to that age where you start to not care less about what people think of you. When you're at that, when you're like a young age, like, social media is everything, because you just want people to accept you.
But we grew up in a different age too.
I had Bieber. Like,
yeah, but
I mean, it's a different.
It was different time. I mean, social media wasn't around. I mean, I think back to, like, if social media was around in my day, you know, and you've got all other aspects like cyberbullying and stuff now.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know, and so much pressure, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I see like a 7-year-old with like a smartphone. I'm like, hey. Like,
the privilege we live in.
Yeah.
Privileged society.
But then, like, kids, that's all they're going to know, right?
Yeah, I know. I got a 2-year-old, and it's like, damn, this world is like, I mean, already 2020 is like, sheesh.
If I have a kid, bro, I'll come to you for parenting advice, bro, because I'll be...
Honestly, no parent has it locked down. Like, you learn as you go, honestly. Yeah. It's a journey, man. Like, it's be challenging at times. But yeah, just like...
Have you thought about that, though? Like, with your kid, I'm like, man, how am I going to prepare them for social media? And...
all the time.
Yeah,
like, all the time. Like,
and technology is constantly evolving.
I mean, especially how fast it's, like, moving. It's like, man, if this is where it's at now, I imagine... when my son is like, 12, 13, 14, like, 10 years, 12 years from now, it's like, where's technology going to be? What is social media going to be? Like, what other, like, kind of challenges are we going to be facing? I don't know. I can't predict the future.
We're in 2020 already, and there's already a bit of stuff that's going on.
I think that's just the media, man. If it's,
they blow everything out of proportion. Like,
I saw that. Have you seen that movie, the Nightcrawler with
yeah,
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
He says something. It's always a line that always stuck with me. Like, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah.
And that's so true in media. Like, if it bleeds, it leads, man. Like, just negative, violent, just news all on the media.
Yeah.
It can be so depressing sometimes.
Like, I mean, like, you think of the coronavirus and stuff, and how there's, it's frenzy. How frantic it is. I mean, I go on I go on Reddit quite a bit, and there's like a world news subreddit.
Yeah.
And like the coronavirus is just plastered all over there, and then you go into the comments and people are just freaking out, eh? And I'm already seeing on Facebook people posting like real racist comments and stuff about Chinese people, which pisses me off, because it's just, honestly, that's when you really see how people are,
the toxic social. Like how we're really like how because they're not going to be like that, like in real life, like off social media. They're not going to admit that stuff, but social media provides that platform that actually exposes what a lot of humanity is like, and it's very tribal, it's very judgmental, it's very like exclusive. But yeah, the coronavirus, I'm skeptical about the coronavirus. Like, I don't know, is it that, I mean, I don't know that much about it. Is it as bad as...
It's not as bad as SARS.
Because the media is making it sound like it is like the next thing since...
Nah, well, I think the only thing they're concerned of is if it mutates, if it evolves, right? But like...
I'm out of my depth with this. I have no idea. Biology.
but so it's just, like, I think there's 5,000 people infected and 180 have died or something. Don't quote me on that, people. Right. I'm just paraphrasing a bit here. But it's like a strain of the flu. And it's not as deadly as SARS.
Right.
But I think people are just nervous because more people have been affected with it.
Right.
Like, because it goes airborne and then people are picking it up and stuff.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like that, the most people who are perishing from it are older people who might have a weaker immune system. Yeah. But there's so many factors at play, and I think some people are just like, I remember there was a video I watched when Ebola, the whole thing with Ebola happened, right? And there was this comedian, and he was doing this take on it, and he was showing how the British media were reacting to the Ebola crisis, and they're like, don't worry, it's under control, we've got the borders under control, everyone's been quarantined, it's fine. But in America, there's like this huge hysteria, and they're just like, people are getting infected left, right, and center.
Crazy. And like if you like social media, like just being exposed to that type of news, it just fuels anxiety in people as well. Like, you've got kids like that have anxiety disorders because I think a couple of weeks ago, when the whole Iran thing happened, like bombing.
Yeah. People were like predicting World War III and stuff. And
my friend's kid, she's like 11 years old. They were like, she was having anxiety attacks. She's like 11 years old. She's like, it's going to be World War III. I'm like, at 11 years old, I did not know what was going on in the world. Like, I could have cared less. I don't know what I was doing. Yeah. But I didn't have anxiety. It's just like, man, it's just crazy how we can get sucked into these narratives that just, man, like, what's true anymore? Like, it's hard to...
Well, you don't know. Like,
hard to discern,
The fiction and reality is kind of... The line is blurring, so you don't know. Like, every time I read a media article, I'm like, is this true? I don't know. Like, I have to read, like, multiple sources just to check if it's true.
I'm a huge skeptic,
with, like, Kobe.
Yeah.
Like,
when I first saw it, I was like...
Nah, that's fake.
It can't be not Kobe.
Yeah.
Not my Kobe.
Yeah. So, like... It's really hard to know when something is.
That's so scary though, because it's just like, man, what do we believe? And even though, like, because you even have like news outlets that they'll report on something true, but they will come to a conclusion that isn't true. Like you're often like for instance, like you had like an extreme example, like you've had a few politicians on this podcast. You know,
it's interesting.
Extreme media outlet will be like, oh, so-and-so was on Reece's podcast, therefore he's, you know, left adjacent or, you know, national adjacent, like supporting, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's the type of news we get. Like they just jump to conclusions that don't necessarily follow. And vice versa too. Like we hear lies, but it's like, but they might be trying to report on something true, but they'll, you know, fabricate it with a whole bunch of lies. It's like, man, it's so hard to navigate it all. It's crazy.
I just had a journalist on like recently, and she was saying that like they have to verify their stuff like 100% before they post it on like the New Zealand Herald. You know, because they can't be because they have to double check. Like she said, she got done once for a photo. There was some shark attack, I think, and someone had photoshopped the shark in the water, but the shark attack never even happened. And she's like, "Oh, damn it! They got me. They got me."
It's like Onion or like Onion News or something. There's like some like parody like news site that I've seen a few people like post it, and it's complete like it's just parody, like it's not real. But people post it like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, and I'm like, "Dude, it's not real."
But the problem is if you've got a specific narrative that's being fed to people, you know, or they only listen to one media outlet. Like, they're just going to believe what they say. And not even just that, right? Like, if you think of somebody of, like, great influence or importance, right? Let's say someone you admire. Let's use Kobe, for example, right? So, obviously, he's someone that you admire. And you're inspired by. So, naturally, anything he says, you'd probably be like, oh, you know. But it would have to be something probably really extreme where you'd be like, nah. But if he just made stuff up, you might believe it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Like, that's the power of influence, isn't it?
Like celebrities and stuff, they carry so much weight.
That's crazy, man.
Like they hang on to, like people hang on to everything they say. Like I hear some stuff and I'm like, what?
Where'd you hear that from? Yeah. No,
like,
definitely.
I'm like, hey, this person said it. It must be true.
Yeah. Especially if it's like conspiratorial as well. Like, that's the way.
I've got some family who like, obviously, I'm coming from a Christian family. They're really hardcore into like the Book of Revelation and like the end times and stuff. And like they watch all these conspiracies. Or like all these pastors that preach on end times and stuff.
How you can feel the metaphorical rolling of my eyes while you say this. Like,
and
it's crazy.
And like I'll get a call from one of them saying, "Hey man, the world's going to end on May 12th." I'm like, "Why?" "Oh, this pastor said it." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Nah."
It's crazy, man.
Like how? Why are you believing this person?
And especially in a religious context, that's where you see it happen the most. Is because you know, apparently they're meant to be talking on behalf of God, so whatever they say, it must be true. And if I go against them, I'm going against God. That's often like the internal logic that's happening with a lot of.
And there's no way you can win that argument.
I think
it's an unwinnable argument.
The argument's unwinnable, but I think the key is like making communities where asking questions isn't taboo.
Well, even geniuses ask questions, you know. So
I think
always be asking questions.
I think it's like it's a sign of a real unhealthy like community when it's looked down on to ask questions, to come to your own conclusions, to you have to always follow like the status quo and whatever the leaders like. It's just an unhealthy environment to be in. But a lot of like even just particularly in like my experience, like church communities, a lot of those, they require you to believe or act a certain way that sacrifices like your own like your conscience, like your own autonomy. Like it's just unhealthy.
One of the something I remember when I used to go to church is one of the pastors said to me once. He was preaching on something. I can't remember what it was, but he said to me, well, he didn't say to me, but he said to the congregation that don't just hang on every word that I say. Go look into the Bible and look into this yourself, right? Because I was kind of guilty of it too, right? Because I admired this pastor, like what he says. I'm like, yo, Yeah. You know, but I think it's always good to do like your own investigation and check things out for yourself rather than just.
But even what's crazy about that is like we all come to everything really with a certain lens as well. So we also like have to be aware of our own internal bias, especially with like in terms of religion. It is hard to do, man. It is hard to do. I think like that's why like again like without being preachy, that's why I love like Jesus, because like he was so like simple. Like he was just like love people, love each other.
Well, the message is pretty straightforward. Yeah,
it's straightforward, but we just add all this. Like, so can I ask like why? What kind of caused you to kind of like walk away from that whole environment?
Well, to be honest, bro, I think a part of it was because I think predominantly the people I hung out with were predominantly Christian people. And I think I spent so much time around them that, like, when I started hanging out with other people in other walks of life.
Yeah, out of touch.
Well, part of because I grew up in church and stuff.
Right.
And then I think a part of me was like, am I conditioned to think this way? Like, as a product of my environment? So, like, for example, like my partner's Hindu, right?
Yeah.
So I went to India like 2 years ago, I think. And obviously, you know, I went to the temple, you know, because I'm like, oh, okay. Her family wanted to take me to a temple,
right? And
automatically in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, you know, I was kind of rolling my eyes, like, you know,
yeah.
And then I got there, and then like they were doing all this stuff, like they'd put money in the, I don't know, there's like a god there. I forgot the name of the god.
Yeah,
I think it was Ganesh, and they put money in the I don't know, this little money box thing.
Yeah,
and then they stand there and. Like, I didn't get it. Like, I was standing, I'm like, this is absolutely weird.
The whole ritual.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't get it. And then I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. Am I just thinking this because of the environment I grew up with? And this is very different to what I thought. Like, if I grew up here, like, this would just be normal, you know? There's a normalization, like, we feel, I think, because as a kid, you kind of, you absorb a whole bunch of information, right? So like, I was just like, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
And like, there's still like, I'll still like listen to the odd message here and there. I was actually listening to some pastor's message the other day and stuff.
Right.
But I don't know. I have a lot of questions.
That's good. That's healthy, man. I feel like that it sucks that having questions almost. It disqualifies a lot of people from their community. Like that's because I'm the same, bro. Like I have the most questions, and I feel like the more you go on like a journey of any type of journey, like faith or spiritual journey, I feel like it should always feel questioning.
And everybody's journey is different.
That's what a journey.
I think like people often forget that.
Yeah, if you're not questioning what.
Like like I did a track with PFAK a couple of years ago. That's when I first met him, and like he even mentioned to me, he's like, "Yo, I question everything every day."
Yeah,
which I think is healthy. Like you should never follow anything blindly, and like by questioning things, you get the answers. I mean, not always, but like I think it's important, right? Like let's say you and I, like we both grew up in West Auckland. Yeah. But the environments would be completely different, I'm sure. Yeah. You know, you're exposed to different groups, like you did Krumping and basketball and stuff. Yeah. Whereas I didn't do that. And the people you've met are probably very different to the people I've met. Like, one of the coolest things I like about doing this podcast is I've met, like, people from all different walks of life. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the coolest things. And just seeing how they think and why they think. Like, it's made me a bit more objective. Yeah. Rather than being judgmental and being like, that is stupid.
I think traveling helps a lot as well.
Yes, I agree. You really realize how ignorant you are when you go overseas.
I went to Korea and Japan last year with my family. For like
how was that?
It was crazy, bro. Like, yeah, definitely. Especially Japan. Like, it was a culture shock, eh? Like, so me and my wife have been to like New York and LA and stuff, but it's still westernized. It's still like...
Yeah.
It's just, everything's just bigger pretty much. But in Korea and Japan, it's just different cultures, eh? Like,
I know, because I really want to go to Japan.
It's crazy.
I've heard that the work culture there is insane.
Yeah.
Like, because there's this, like a society pressure or just this thing where you're expected to work ridiculous hours. You're not allowed to leave work until your boss leaves.
I think like because my wife, she lived in Korea for like a few months, it was like years ago. And she said, I think it's kind of it's the same in Japanese cultures where like your reputation and like honor is like the highest value. So like your reputation is like the most valuable thing you have. And like honor is like paramount over there. So I feel like having like a type of character that is super hardworking is valued like huge over there, and it says not something just about yourself but about your family and everything. So I feel like that's just the culture that
but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Nah, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Like I think there's things that Kiwis can learn from that.
For sure, definitely.
Like by traveling overseas, I'm like, you know what? Kiwis are pretty lazy in comparison to some of the people like in other countries, man. They work really, really hard by comparison.
Yeah, I don't even think it's like just lazy. I think it's just like, man, we don't really live in the real world, like all the way down this corner of the world. Like,
very isolated.
Like isolated, where like what we're the youngest country, like kind of
we were the last country
country we found. Like, like our history is a couple hundred years, compared to Europe, or like it's just thousands of years of history and culture. And like, man, we're just, in some ways it's a blessing because we're kind of separated from the chaos, but in another sense, like there's ignorance and there is a naivety about the world that we can have if we don't travel and see it and experience different cultures and peoples and stuff like that. And it changes how you see the world. Like, I think it gives, for me, it's forced me to be, not forced me, but it's caused me to be more compassionate about things I don't understand.
And more understanding even as well.
More understanding.
Like you can understand why people might act a certain way. I mean, people get annoyed. Oh, people come here and steal all our jobs. And I'm like, yo, man, like, have you been to China? Have you been to India? Can you blame them? Like, it's not an easy life there, man.
Like, and it's like, I mean, especially in New Zealand, I'm like, it's not that bad. Like we're so privileged.
Do you find I've found every time I go overseas I appreciate New Zealand more?
Oh yeah, I've always been careful to like take New Zealand for granted, because even just like something as simple as like just our environment, like how beautiful it is. Like, man, I feel like I've seen like most of New Zealand. I've been around everywhere, probably except like up north. But other than that, I've seen most, and it's like we live in probably the most beautiful place in the world.
I think part of the reason, like there's countries that have beautiful scenery as well, like say Canada, Scotland and stuff. But I think in those countries, the beautiful pristine landscapes, it's not close.
It's the accessibility.
You know what I mean? Like,
accessibility.
The accessibility. Everything's in close proximity.
It's like, I mean, Auckland, like just alone, like, man, how many beaches are there in Auckland? 20, 30 minutes from the CBD. Like it's unheard.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
And then there's some countries where, or cities that are real far inland.
Some people have never seen like a beach before. It's like just take it for granted.
Because I've obviously through my partner I've met like a lot of Indians from India who are over here, and they just marvel at like
the water.
And not even that,
it's
dude,
crazy,
but like I've been to like UK as well and India, but the sea here is actually like blue.
Right. Like, as opposed to grey and dirty.
Like, dude, even in the UK, bro, I went to this one town outside of Essex, and like the sea was like this muddy brown color.
Right.
What's that? What the hell is this?
Atlantic, or I don't know. I know what the sea would be there.
I don't know, bro. My geography ain't that great. But I was like, yo, man, this is a westernized country, and this does not look good.
It doesn't look like New Zealand. It doesn't look like home.
That's why like if you're not into nature and stuff, then probably New Zealand isn't the country for you, eh? Like if you're into big cities and stuff. Because
I'm not like super like an outdoors person, but I appreciate like how beautiful New Zealand is. It's pretty crazy, bro.
But what's funny is like, because you know how like some people think, Auckland, oh my god, it's so busy. I hate that place. Too much traffic and stuff.
Only people that say that are other people that live outside of New Zealand, outside of Auckland and New Zealand.
But if you go to any other
if you go to any other city, come to
yeah.
Auckland, it's like, wow, so peaceful here, it's so slow.
Yeah, yeah. Some people have complained to me, like I got a mate from the UK, and he's just like, I hate Auckland, it's too slow compared to London.
Yeah.
I'm like,
huh?
Really?
But if you come anywhere else, like other towns from New Zealand, it's like, oh my god, Auckland, big smoke, it's too fast.
Tracer was saying that, he's like, Auckland's too fast for me, man. I'm like, bro, I should take you to Tokyo or something.
Bro, yeah, Japan was like, just even catching the subway, like, bro, just people, just.
Do you find because here's the thing though, right? From being outside of Auckland, I do find that I get annoyed more with traffic than I used to. Like, because I think about how I grew up in Auckland, right? And obviously in West Auckland. Yeah. I mean, you'll know this. Like, traffic has gotten pretty bad over the years. It progressively gets worse.
Yeah.
But by global standards, it actually isn't that bad, right? But I find, like from living here, because I don't have to deal with traffic anymore. Yeah. I've gotten used to a life where I don't have to deal with it. Yeah. So when I go up to Auckland, I'm like, oh, bloody hell, man, sitting in traffic and stuff.
It's all relative, eh? Like, for me, I mean, traffic's like bad, but like if you're in it every day, it's like you just get used to it. Yeah. But when I went to Japan, I'm like, dude, like even like walking across the road in Shibuya, like it's literally thousands of people just on every corner waiting to cross the intersection. It's like, it's just you can't fathom it. Like when I was there, I was like, I took a video of people crossing the road. Like that's how like foreign it was to me. Like look how many people there are just like living in this little area, just walking across the road. It's like New Zealand is just like, it's man. It's and compared to the rest of the world, like it's chill, man.
People are like, oh, there's too many people coming here. I'm like, bro.
There is though, like, because I live in Christchurch. My wife's from Christchurch. We lived there for a few years. And then when I came back home, I was like, damn, there's so many more people.
When you came back to Christchurch or
back to Auckland?
No, when
I came back to Auckland. So I left.
Dude, it's changed heaps just in the 4 years that I've lived.
Yeah, we came back to Auckland, I think like 2015, 16. And I was like, man, within like 2-3 years, I felt like there was another million people in the city. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's changed heaps. And you see a lot of high rises and townhouses and stuff just popping out. Here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, so.
Yeah, man.
Cool, man. Hey, I might wrap up there.
Yeah, bro.
Thanks for coming through, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a good chat. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, my mate's a big fan of you, eh? Like, he came down recently, like a few months ago, and I played him your battle with Viv, and he was in tears of laughter. He's like, bro, I want to meet this guy. I'm like, well, bro, he lives in West Auckland too. You can meet him at some point.
I don't think I've met anyone outside of my peer group that was like, oh, you're from battle rap. Like,
you will, bro. Give it time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of people still don't know what it is.
Yeah. New Zealand's like, man, it's the most niche, like. Yeah. Like rap in general. It's small here.
Yeah, totally. Cool, man. But if anyone wants to follow you or anything, is it best to just follow you on the one outs? I suppose is the best way to do
Facebook, Instagram, JP_NZO. I mean, I don't post too much on there. We got like teas coming out, the boys.
Yeah, I saw that. The B Team toys.
B Team toys. Yeah, we got B Team toys coming out.
Some toys,
and teas,
little JP80.
Yeah, little figurines. We got BT like t-shirts coming out. If you follow us on Facebook, they're like $35. It's like a vintage kind of print.
Yeah, so we got one, bro. I'll wear it on the show, bro.
Yeah, I wanted to bring one, but we didn't have a spare one. Yeah, we haven't ordered like a bulk order of it yet. But if you want to come
I'll see you anyway at the Face the Hate 5. Make sure everyone that you get your tickets for that. I think they're like going pretty fast, eh?
I haven't sold any, but I'm definitely like anticipating it to be like
it'll be pretty big. Chiller from the States is coming over. He's a pretty big deal. I think tickets are $20, aren't they?
I think there might be a little bit more this time. I'm not too sure.
Or no, I think pre-orders are 20 and then door sales are 30. I think, and then there's VIP where you can meet Chiller and stuff. So if you want to do that, but come along. Yeah, support the bro. I'll be there too if you want to come say hi.
Yo.
But JP80 is going to spit a verse now.
Oh, dang. Yeah. First time on beat.
He's going to murder
I don't do this.
He's going to murder Traser.
No way. That boy killed it, bro. I've got a long ways to go before
Bro, he totally surprised me, bro, with that verse, because I had
he been doing that though, right?
Oh yeah. Like I think he was a rapper and then became a battle rapper, right, as opposed to the other way around. So like, but I didn't know that.
Right. Okay.
So like, I didn't know. Like, I obviously gave him the beat, and then like I just played it, and I was just sitting there like,
yeah. When I saw his, I was impressed, bro. Like he does that. He's fire on beat.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
I was like,
he
damn,
is fire on beat.
Crazy.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Sweet. Yo, so JP80, he's about to kill this beat. Cheer.
Yeah. 80. B team, we're in the building. Look. This hard work and determination. Out of dirt, I was birthed to make it. They keep serving me shots, so I'm returning favors. They observe every word, but then they work to taint it. American History X, I learned to curb the haters. On the road to greatness, everybody divine. Hail from the city of sales, I got a mastermind. They tryna rock the boat and snuck on to stop me though. George Clooney, all it take is a look and I'll drop your goat. That's overhead like cloud formations, I'm validated. Don't need none of that clout you chasing, so face it, what they gon' do with me. I swear I do this fluently. If scrutiny debating who the best and best, get used to me. A beast, a phenom, what I've been on. Being strong, dropping mean bombs with Kareem arm. Yeah, I've been hooking on these rookies, the bully. Bet on myself with a bookie. I'm fully sub-motivated, need no one to push me on the beat. I've been cooking, mobbing deep, never shook me to beyond where I'm looking. See God, it ain't tookie at the top where they put me. Never flop, keep my footing. Look, if they want it, I got it, so let me flow something. They say you learn from your losses, guess I know nothing. No bluffing, I ain't talk how these rappers talk. Don't need the hype, accolades, ice or rewards. I've been getting bread, the body of the Lord, and I've been popping in bottles since bombs at the wharf. Yeah, with the pen I feel like KD. So if you thinking you can play me, then you crazy. Look, and I'm just spitting how I'm feeling. Before I'm finished, condolences for this killing. I'm gifted to go the distance. See, everybody's saying they different, but listen, Reece, I'm just a different type of different. And that's a fact. Russell Westbrook to the gang, cause I'm okay to rock it ISO with my circle on my back. Damn, punch hard like Parker. See, these are from the hard bars. Interviews for the record like Nardwar. That's crazy reaction things to be clapping. So go ahead and play with a savage. Get laid in the casket, I'm spazzing. All you dogs barking loud like you bite legit. Until you see I'm Michael Vick to you types of pits. Pay attention, you'll see I'm cut from a different cloth. Well, let him walk barehanded, God had my fingers crossed. Naysayers and haters having me written off. But running your mouth never meant you were fit to talk. I'm making sure every stanza is felt. Man of the house, get out of line, get smacked with the belt. I'm calling every bluff, exposing what these rappers about. I force you the cards that make you play the hand you without. I'm like that. This, that, once in a blue moon. New school guru, move through like who you? This a lose, use proof. It's too true that y'all be lacking flow like pins and needles, no voodoo. They mad I got it, cause I've been gifted. Sick with it like Jackson Pollock, my drip different. The mission to prove I'm number one like McGrady. So run for safety, I'm throwing bullets, feel like I'm Brady. 80.
Damn. First time rapping on beat. First time rapping on beat, man.
First time, not the last time.
Yeah, not the last time. Traser, bro, you got competition, man. Straight up.
Nah, Tracer's still fire, but turn that beat off, boy. That boy's dead.
Yep. And make sure you're there. March 28th.
March 28th. Face the hate. 5. It's gonna get crazy.
Hard. Make sure you buy a ticket and be there.
Yeah.
Alright. That's the show, everyone. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Until next time, man. Stay safe.
Peace.